Virtual reality has always had an interesting presence on YouTube. Through this presence, VR's gained billions of views, started careers, and most of all, found an audience for their many small titles. I think it's safe to say that because of the innate need to create content and showcase something amazing, VR and YouTube have coexisted hand in hand to help create a multi-billion-dollar industry, giving those at the forefront jobs only some could dream of. Creators like JoshDub, J-Man Curly, and Thrillseeker all got their starts early in the industry and YouTube as a whole, and now, about a decade later, they sit at the top, being admired by many while still remaining passionate, and above all else, help get VR to continue to grow in interest. Many games that people found early on are worth millions of dollars, and have cultivated their own communities that now serve their own purpose and standing alone to grow themselves and VR as a whole, while bringing people together and allowing for even more creators to rise up and make their dream job a reality. Think games like Gorilla Tag, Rec Room, and Blade and Sorcery. So, with that being the case, with these titans ruling the niche since forever ago, why does it now feel like something is changing? For the most part, all big VR games have stayed relevant since the big blow up in 2020 with the release of the Quest 2. But now, in mid-2024, we're starting to see the first signs of a major shift in interest, and that shift will bring in a new era of VR on YouTube. Although, some might say that era is already here. The biggest titles in VR are starting to falter. Well, not all of them, just some. I think before I get into this, I'll quickly address some of the biggest games that are in fact not declining, and may even today be growing. To start, we of course have Blade and Sorcery. This game just released their 1.0 update that basically turned it into VR's ultimate sandbox, and it'll probably stay like this for a long time. Secondly, while it might technically be declining, Gorilla Tag is once again still the top dog of virtual reality, with people such as Garrett the Gamer saying that Gorilla Tag is averaging around 1 million active users a day. So yeah, it ain't going anywhere. But now that that's quickly out of the way, let's talk about some giants that aren't doing too hot on YouTube right now. I think of course it's best to start this segment out with the Rec Room community, and while I'm not someone who actively consumes Rec Room content, the community both in-game and on YouTube are basically extremely fed up with the way that things are being run right now. In addition, lots of Rec Room creators have been seeing emergent declines in viewership. This lack of interest, combined with an unhappy community, has, at least of this video, made the state of Rec Room YouTube pretty uncertain, with many creators either considering quitting or jumping ship to other promising titles. Now, of course, this isn't the case for every creator, but still. From an outside perspective looking in, it's honestly kind of sad to see how much work these creators do not be rewarded in the way that they really deserve. Unfortunately though, when it comes to making videos surrounding one game on YouTube, the creator's viewership is directly tied to online interest in said game. So even though these creators are still extremely talented people who, as I just said, deserve way more views, their audiences are just becoming interested in other games, which we'll get into what a couple of those are later on in the video. Along with that, I'd also like to briefly mention Pavlov VR. While, as far as I've seen, it's not facing the same problems as Rec Room, it really seems like to me that the content has kind of come to a standstill. I don't think I've heard anything major come out of that content space in recent times, which really sucks because it's still, once again, a really cool game. And as a result of little to no growth in the space, creators will have to, unfortunately, face the brunt of standstill growth. So now that begs the question, where did everybody go? Nothing lasts forever, and with the changing of the tides, new opportunities have emerged, and what we've seen from it is pretty fascinating. I think to start, we should obviously talk about Ghost of Tabor. This game, in its time that it's been launched, has officially cemented itself as a new titan in virtual reality. And with this, we've seen one of the most interesting rises in VR content creation, where almost every top creator in this game is friends with one another. If you're in this community, you obviously know who I'm talking about. This group consists of 2 Cryptic, Tanvarian, Awakened Toast, and Timeless. These guys have absolutely dominated the Ghost of Tabor niche, providing so much new and unique content that viewer interest, both new and returning, have been able to spike dramatically. I definitely want to put a special focus on this creator though, Timeless. In the span of a year, he's grown to over 100,000 subscribers on just posting Ghost of Tabor alone. This creator has become so synonymous with Ghost of Tabor that when you search the game up on YouTube, his literal channel is the top result that shows up. And he probably has been solely responsible for the addition of thousands of new players to the game, and has drummed up interest for hundreds of thousands more. His rise in the niche hasn't just benefited him though. Through his content and the natural emulation from others that followed, Timeless, Toast, Tan, and Cryptic have popularized a new style of thumbnail that, when used correctly, can draw attention from viewers familiar with the style. This is of course known in that community as the gun nail, derived from the words gun, which is the main focus, and thumbnail. With this style, people have utilized it to help kickstart growth on their own channels. I think the biggest example of this is a creator known as ProxyBoom1, who has seen huge amounts of success through consistently improving his content and finding his own sub-style of gun nail. It's honestly been pretty interesting to see how this new style has influenced the growth of the VR FPS genre, and I'm sure it will only continue to grow as YouTube continues to recommend the new style of content. But gun nails aren't the only thing that VR has shifted. Shorts are also starting to make their own bump in popularity, allowing for a new game to rise up and a new creator. Let me introduce you to I Am Cat. It's a simple title, really. You are a cat, and your goal is to cause as much mischief as you possibly can. There are many different routes to doing so, throwing plates, killing fish, or even attacking your owner. You know, normal cat stuff. But unfortunately for I Am Cat, it was still one of the many new VR titles trying to rise up on YouTube, and it would take something of Timeless level proportions in order to jumpstart this game into relevance. So now, let's enter a creator known as VR Central, a creator who had been pumping out content since 2016. He mainly found success early as a streamer on Twitch, and for the most part, made a good following through that. However, with the introduction of TikTok, he quickly began to gain traction on that platform, eventually passing the 100K mark. Along with that, he also started to work on YouTube Shorts and posting videos more consistently. This led to him amassing a following of around 50,000 subscribers, an insane figure for many. But little did he know what was about to happen. In the month of June, VR Central came across and made his first post on I Am Cat, a little short that showcased some of the shenanigans you could get into on the game. And after a day of the short being up, it had amassed 445,000 views. This was it, his big opportunity, his chance to achieve something most creators only dream of. And boy, did he get to work. Pumping out short after short, he was being rewarded every single time with something greater. In addition to his previous shorts gaining more views, his first I Am Cat shorts now all sit at over 1 million views, with the long-form videos he's made easily cracking over 100,000 views. Along with that, he also hit the coveted 100 subscriber mark, granting him the checkmark and silver play button that everyone yearns for. With all this traction, he now sits at over 170,000 subscribers, but considering how fast he's growing right now, he might even be higher by the time you're all watching this video. This creator, who had spent so much of his time trying to share his passion with the world, trying to get VR in front of as many eyes as possible for years upon years on end, has finally achieved what he set out to do, blowing up the game of I Am Cat and giving himself an audience who want to continue to see him succeed. And also VR Central, if you're watching this, I just want to say, you did it, man. All that time finally paid off, and I don't think there is any VR creator who is more deserving to blow up than you. You put in your time, put in the work, and didn't give up, even when things may have not been going your way, and for that, I could not be more happier to see you succeed. So fly as high as you can and don't look down. Once again, congratulations. 2024 has been a very interesting year for virtual reality, as the whole industry seems to be growing at a slower rate as we wait for VR to become more accessible to the rest of the world. But even so, the relationship between VR and YouTube remains unchanged. Games need creators to blow up, and creators need games to blow up. And I'm sure this feedback loop will continue as long as the niche lives, and will probably lead to even newer innovations, with even more creators taking that step to achieve their hopes and dreams. Heck, even your boy over here is trying his hand at a more Let's Play style of channel, so if that's something that interests you, go check out Tridus on YouTube. But yeah, I think it's safe to say VR is not dead. VR YouTube is not dead, it's simply changing. And creators, are changing along with it. Thanks for watching.